Hello, welcome to Furious Driving, and as you can probably tell, I'm sitting in the Volvo 740. Now, currently it is not MOT'd anymore. The MOT actually expired on Wednesday this week, so it's a beached whale. It's no longer a whale floating the seas. It's stuck here on the drive until I can sort out the various other little jobs I need to sort out on the car. Some of them are very minor. In fact, they're all very minor, really. At the end of last episode, I needed a new oil seal for the engine. Now, amazingly, someone commented that these things are still held in stock at Volvo main dealers. So I popped down to my local main dealer and they had one later the same day, which was amazing. It cost about £5. So the first thing we'll do is go and quickly pop that on. So I was concerned the crank ventilation thing was not working properly, and that's why I was getting a lot of blow-by of oil vapour and making it all dirty. But it turns out that little O-ring gasket thing is just rock solid. So a new one, £5 from Volvo main dealer, why wouldn't you? So it's a little bit oily and dirty, but that is absolutely crispy. It feels more like a bit of wood than it does feel a bit of rubber. Wow, can't even flex over the metal thing. So knackered. This is part number 1275379 if you need one for your Volvo. Much more supple, much more, well, oil retardant, oil sealing. Actually feels like it's done up now. Right, that's one thing done. Now the other thing we failed on last time was this adjuster screw, which was tensioning out and then sheared off. Turns out you can buy them again from Volvo main dealer, but the entire bracket apparently comes as a complete set. It's like £15 with the screw and the bracket, so I've ordered that, but it's coming from Sweden, so it's going to take about a week to arrive, so we can't get this done. The power steering does work just about, but it's very loud and squeaky because the belt's kind of a bit flappety on the wheel, so the car is sort of drivable, but you can, yeah, it doesn't sound the greatest, so I'm not going to drive it too much, but that will change over as soon as it arrives. Now, next up, again, a very minor thing, but it's all part of making the car much nicer and feel like a proper car. There should be a light in here and a lens on there. The light bulb is missing, and so is the lens. However, in Junk in the Trunk yesterday, we got this in the post. This is the red lens that goes in here. I'll kind of find a bulb and then fit that. I've been around Lakes like Volvo, I've been on eBay. I've not been able to find one of these because these get just stolen by everyone who's breaking any Volvos, and they just don't seem to exist. Let's see if I can find a light bulb. Now I do have a selection of these little LED bulbs from leftover things. That goes in there, but it doesn't really hold very tight. I'm going to go see if I can find an analog bulb of the same kind. Okay, I've found an old type, which is perhaps a little smaller on the foot, so that might grip in there a little bit better. That's much tighter. That was going to fall out. It's much brighter, but that was going to fall out. Little arrows showing the outside of the door in case you forget which side of the car you need to get out of. Volvo think of everything. So, massive thanks to Maxi Dino who posted this in. Sent it into the Junk in the Trunk address, the PO box down below. If you have anything else for the Junk in the Trunk section, then do send it in, and we'll talk about it in the next edition, end of the following month. Right, now, also, speaking of missing Volvo trim, I have been hunting high and low for blue A-post trim, this bit of plastic here, and driver's side C-post trim. Both of those broke when I pulled them off to do the headlining replacement, and I've not been able to find any replacements in blue anywhere. So if you have a lead on any of them, then please do get in touch. Right, so at the end of the last episode, I wasn't able to do the gearbox oil because I had used my squeezy doodah thing for filling up the differential and hadn't realised quite how treacly the stuff was, and that I wouldn't be using this one again pretty much ever again. I also discovered that if you shut a garage door on the squeezy bit, it blasts what's left in the siphon a really long way. Don't do that. So in the week I went on Amazon and I bought this, which does look like something Austin Powers would have bought and then denied. And this is a manual fluid pump. There are automatic electric ones available for around £16, but if you want a really cheap out, these are only £8. And that will do the trick of siphoning clean gearbox fluid into the gearbox. Also, quite lucky I did leave it until this time, because someone commented that you get more into the gearbox if you jack it up at the front rather than the back, because that's the way the gearbox sits. So that's quite useful to know. Right, so I did free off the bolts last time, so now they are going to undo, because you don't want to undo the drain and then find you can't undo the refill. That's a bad thing to be doing. So I think it's a 10 or a 13, I forget which. Let's go under there and get some horrible fluid out. 13, so let's undo the refill first of all. Now I have run out of gloves. I need to get some more goopy gloves because this is going to be horrible. Oh, that's black and treacly. I had a lot of gunk on the magnet as well, or well-used magnet pickup on the back of that. It's meant to be about 1.5 litres, I think, from memory. But what did I say last time? I did give the actual figure. It doesn't seem like that much has come out, but now the old eternal dilemma. At what point do you decide enough has drained out and it's just dripping dregs and you're going to stick the thing back in again? I'm going to call it now. Otherwise you just sit there forever waiting for it to finish. Dregging off. Is dregging a real word? I don't know. You have jiggings, which are those jean joggy things which are horrible. That's quite tight, which is probably fine. Now let's whip this one out. Everything comes out of this one, any liquid. Oh, yeah. Now that's interesting. There wasn't a washer on the lower one, and there is on the top one. I wonder if that'll be a problem later on. Now this is in the okay, now I wish I got the electric one. I can feel the pressure of this thing, but I can't see what it's doing. It's not clear. That is a potential fail here. Oh, where's it getting oil from? Oh, hang on. Whoa, 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 whoa. I have to basically pump this until it runs out the hole. I'm not quite sure what rate this is pushing fluid through at. I can't see any bubbles, I can't see anything in this at all. I kind of do wish I'd gone for the electric pump now. £8 might not have been wasted after all. Now, even though it's arrived basically next day, I'm going to chalk up as not one of my best buys. It's pretty slow and annoying. Ah, that's it, it's full. Getting run off. Okay. I'll pump that back into the can in a bit. Now this should make the car run nice and smooth and quiet when it's on the road now. That's gear noise, much easier gear changes. I noticed on the W204 the gearbox, or the gear changes felt a bit nicer with fresh oil in it. Okay, good. Right, a bit of cleaning up to do here because it did dribble out a bit. Ugh. I think our red and clear fresh gearbox oil is. This browny black goop is not in its first flush of use, so I'm hoping I'll see a big improvement here. Right, now while we've got the car up in the air, I may as well take advantage and do the other thing which is hanging over from last time, which was that brake fluid. The one brake line wouldn't bleed, it's double lines at the front, and so it does stop really fine because it's a triangular system, 2 lines at the front, 1 line at the back, and they're diagonally crossed, so you always have braking on all 4 wheels even if you lose pressure. Anyway, I have got full braking, but not from one of the lines, so let's sort that one out before the MOT. Obviously using a deep impact from the deep impact set. I was criticised for a while for not using impacts. So I've been indoors and checked the previous video, and it was the top one that wasn't doing anything when I tried to bleed it. So in anticipation of this being really tricky, I've done 2 things to try and help me through. First of all, I've doused the connectors in loads of WD-40, and secondly I've upgraded from coffee to tea because this is like a serious job. So undo one here, 2 spanners, undo. This one down here, 2 spanners and undo. How hard can this be? So it looks like this one screws on like that, 11mm just there, and whatever size that is just there, and the other end does the same down there. So let's see if we can get this off. That's an 11 that only just went on. That 14, yes it is. Oh god damn it. This might be a job for the heat thing. Oh my gosh. I don't want to break this off. That's going to be really bad if it snaps. Oh my gosh, that's incredibly tight. Oh wow, that was free. Wow. What are the chances? One is broken free already. Sometimes Volvos are wonderful. Sometimes it appears they're not though. This is very reluctant to turn in any way, shape or form. This is a job for the heat thingy. Right, it's time to break out this thing. The heat induction tool. This is possibly the greatest invention in the world ever. And it has saved me more than once in impossible situations that would have otherwise had to have gone off to a garage to be done. So the best paddle I can find is this one, which is kind of a flat surface. Ideally you want to be wrapping it around there, but that's up against that inner wing, so I can't do that. I will quickly disconnect the battery. I don't think you really need to, but it doesn't hurt to do it. This is normally very, very quick. It just takes a minute or two of on and off pushing the button. It gets heat directly into the component you're working on. Already I can see the WD-40 I've sprayed on there is literally bubbling. Now it's smoking. As the component gets hotter and hotter, because everything around it doesn't get hot, which is just incredible. Now brake fluid should be okay getting hot because it's designed to get hot, and it's brand new brake fluid in there as well. Right, let's give that a whirl. Oh damn it. Do you know what, that's actually bolted to the back of the firewall, not the firewall, the inner wing. I might just see if I can unbolt that and see if that makes any difference. This is proving too much even for the heat induction tool. This is really a first. I've never been beaten by anything previously. So what I'm going to do, having read a few things on Volvo forums over the last few minutes, is I'm going to leave this connected for the time being, because all I'm doing at the moment is just damaging the nut, and eventually it's going to wind up shearing off that pipe if it achieves anything at all, which it's not. So I'm going to leave it for a few days, keep on soaking it in WD-40, go and see if I can get some more powerful ones as well, that'll be more effective. And so once it's been soaking in WD for a week, I'll come back, and in the meantime I'm going to order an open-ended flared brake hose 11mm, because I haven't got one of those. I've only got a standard 11mm open-ended, which isn't getting enough grip on there. What's happening is this bit here stays static, and you put the 14mm on there to grip it tightly, and you turn the nut on the pipe. But the whole thing has been here since 1988, and it is just rusted as solid as you can imagine. So I'm going to give it a week of soaking, or as many days as it takes to order and get a flared brake hose spanner delivered, of soaking daily in WD-40, and hopefully then it will come off. If that still doesn't come off, I'll have to just take it to the garage and at the MOT say, can you just replace this hose for me, because they can make up a new hose. If that shears off, I'll just cut it off and make a new one straight away, because I don't have any brake flaring tools at the moment. I need to get some really. Right, wheel back on for now. Other things to be attended to. Now before I put the wheel back on, there is one final thing to address, and that is this bit of link arm, which when I was doing the brake bleeding, this actually got brake fluid on and it stripped all the paint off. So I've got some tough black paint, which doesn't need, it says it doesn't need any kind of preparation apart from sanding back to a smooth surface. I just pop this on here so it doesn't rust and go horrible. Do the entire thing just so it looks kind of even, really. There's a crack in the underseal just there. Right, looks like I'll be a little bit smarter. Now, I've got another problem before I take this for an MOT. Now, I have said this before, but I do think it's worth repeating again. If you're using an electric tool to tighten up your wheel nuts, always go in with a manual bar. This is the Draper long bar thingy. There's a link in the description below, just to make sure it actually is tight, because these things often just leave them not quite all the way there. And there's nothing worse than having a wheel fall off. Okay, there's a couple of things that probably are pretty bad as well. It's certainly up there. Right, so now we've just got a couple of electrical problems standing between this thing and another year's ticket and being back on the road again. Normally that would be the preserve of the Alpha. And don't get me wrong, that does have a few new electrical gremlins since the last time you saw it. Of course it has. But these ones I'm hoping aren't going to be too serious. Now, the daytime running lights have never worked since I've had the car, and I don't know why that is. However, this side light isn't working either now. So I'm hoping that's just going to be a bulb. Oh, which just literally falls out of the thing. I reached in to undo it, it just fell out. Now curiously, well not that curious because it's meant to have daytime running lights, this is a dual bulb. Unfortunately it is showing both filaments are correct as they should be, which is a bad thing. Now, let's do a quick continuity check and see what this says. It says it works. Okay, let's put the tester on there with the power on. So, this should now be on. Let's pop this back in here and just have a quick look. Oh, it works now. Okay. I like this kind of fix that doesn't involve any kind of fixing whatsoever, because when I came to look at this previously, it wasn't happy at all. So, one job very quickly ticked off. Still on. Still on. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into the daytime running lights at some point, because that feature isn't working on the car and I don't know why, and I would like that to be functioning. Now my other two problems are also electrical. I've turned the engine on so I can try and demonstrate, and I'm sure it won't work right now. But quite often when I push the brake pedal, obviously not happening right now, the bulb out warning light comes on. And I've checked at the back of the car and the brake lights are 100% working. Someone did say something that's to do with the pressure difference, so perhaps that hose, that flexi hose on the front of the car could be causing that, but it's intermittent, and if it just flashed on when the test was happening, then obviously it would be a fail. But I can't find what the problem is, so it's pretty random bad earth. So I guess I have to cross my fingers like crazy on that one. The second thing I need to look at is this here. This is the hazard warning light switch. Has decided it no longer works. Indicators work, and the hazard warning light switch flashes when you're turning left, but not when you're turning right. So I'm guessing dirty connections in there. So I'm going to figure out what kind of little hex Torx screw holds that on there. I'll turn this off now. And pop this cover off and try and get in there and work out how it comes apart. So now we play a quick game of guess the fastening, because I honestly have no clue what this should be. Looks like some kind of Torx star thing. More starry than Torxy, I'm thinking. That's too big. Maybe it's not a clever thing, maybe it's just it's very, very full of dust and dirt. It looks like a star, but maybe it's just a Phillips head. I think maybe I've overthought this, it's just a Phillips head. Right, so I've now gone and brought a large selection of Phillips heads. Ah, here we go, it's just basic Phillips. God, these screws are gross. The amount of fluff on these things. That's 3 decades of grunge. Oh, and in we go. Nice this all rotate out of there. Carefully is the answer. There we go. Trying to snap any bits of plastic while I'm doing this. Probably going to fail. Okay, there we go. That's all free. Now then. Okay, this is held on by 2 screws, which it looks like you need to take the steering wheel off to access. I don't know if I can show this to you or not. Just there, and a counterpart underneath. I'm hoping I can get in there with maybe it's like a 90-degree bendy thing, or just cheat and put some electrical contact cleaner in there. Well, side by side on the cupboard in the front of my garage, I've got 2 cans. They're both bright yellow and white. One of these is electrical contact cleaner. The other one is lacquer. That was nearly a bit of a mistake there. I won't use that one on this, but I will use contact cleaner because this stuff is incredible. And I've actually saved other buttons and switches in cars before by just literally dousing them. Like for example, I had a E30 BMW, and the electric window switches are down here by the gear shift, and they always break because they get all gunk that you've just dropped off your hands onto them. This doesn't feel like it's clicking though, this feels like it's not clicking in. That could be more of a problem. I think I might actually have to take this thing out, because that button, oh maybe it will if I keep on working it. As it's just basically not possible to get anything in there at all, it's really short. I've cut down a screwdriver insert bit that I can now try and get inside there and turn with a pair of mole grips. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but it's the only way I can think of doing it without taking the steering wheel off. I think I'm going to take another millimetre or two. It did turn it slightly, but I'm running out of room. I'm going to take another millimetre or two off this. This is actually quite tricky to do because it's barely a millimetre or two more than the distance between the screw head and the back of the steering wheel, and the more you turn the screw head, the less distance you've got. It's reached that point now, I can't turn it with the thing anymore because there's not enough distance between the screw and the steering wheel, but this one is now virtually out. So I'm halfway there. And I'm willing to actually break the component and use mole grips to get the thing out now, because it's going to have to be replaced. Right, that's that. Let's try this one more time with the mole grips and the screw thing with a slightly better angle on it. Right, it's not willing to turn at all. Ooh. Okay, so I've broken the plastic off, but I really want to get this screw out without damaging anything else. So going in with a broken air saw. Come on. Yes, it's free. Now to try and get this screw actually out of the steering column. Oh, that was properly welded in there. When I get the new one of these, I'm going to ask whoever I buy this off to send me the screws as well, because that is a bit mangled on the front. They've been out before and someone did it a bit messily last time. Yeah, so they're just about £20 second hand, so I'll go and see if I can find one. Right, so it's been a partially successful episode today. This thing is definitively broken, even with it taken out of the car. The clicky bit of the hazard warning light switch is doing absolutely nothing. I've ordered another one, but it's going to be Friday before it arrives. I've had to go second hand because the new one's £180, second hand 25 quid, so it's a bit of a no-brainer there. That one destined for the bin. We'll leave the brake flexi hose soaking in WD-40 for a week as well, and we'll revisit that one. But as to finish things off, as I've been threatening to for the last several episodes, I'm going to take off the gunk which exploded out the radiator and try and make this car look a bit more presentable here in the engine bay. Got some engine bright and some lift off, and we're going to tackle this as much as we can, get this looking good. I don't know what the hell was in this car's cooling system when it first exploded, but it's coated everything in a horrible white, like a chalky substance, which is not pleasant at all, and it almost seems to be corrosive. And that was high pressure, steam powered coolant, whatever the hell was in that system, and it has got literally everywhere. Now, I've used Diamond Bright's Engine Bright and Lift Off lots of times in the past, and they've generally have good results with no damage to the car parts that I'm squirting it onto, so I'm happy to use it again here. And of course, I'm also using a hose pipe, which some people I'm sure will comment that I shouldn't be doing on the over the engine, but it's low pressure water. It's no worse than driving through a big puddle. It's not like a high pressure hose, which would be different. Right, well, kind of a conclusion time now. The engine is running, still all fine after being washed. Let's give it a quick test up and down the drive of what the gearbox is now like with fresh oil. Oops, my hand's slippery. It's nice and slick actually into reverse. The clutch pedal obviously is nice. Now it's got the new oil in it as well. Oh, that's the power steering pump sounds terrible. Yeah, I think the gearbox sounds quite nice actually. I can't really tell the differential because we're 2 miles an hour. But I'm going to crank the wheel over. Oh my god. Oh, so that I can get to that. Oh no, wrong way. Get to that brake. Bleed. Oh no, it's not the bleed. It's the other one I'm stuck on. Oh, I'm crying out loud. Oh god, let's get the wheel over to the left. I can get to that hose. There we go. That sounds terrible. Right, I'm going to turn the engine off now. So, thank you for watching. I hope this has been vaguely entertaining in some way, shape or form. It's been partially conclusive in so much as I now know that this is definitely dead. New one's in the post. The hose on the brakes may or may not be a MOT fail, but I would like to change that flexi hose regardless, and I'm going to get a new spanner in the post in the next couple of days. It's bank holiday weekend, so everything's a few days away at the very earliest. Never mind, but at least we've done a few more things, and the car, as always, is getting better. If you like this, as always, please do the like and subscribe smashy button thing, which is the staple of YouTube, and we do like that kind of thing, don't we? So yes, join me again next time. I don't know if I'll be doing this car or not. I think I might do some Mercedes stuff this week. That'll be a nice change, won't it? Right, see you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.